This happens every year. I don't know why I dread it so much, but I do. The end of October, another year older, the beginning of the holiday season, enter the inevitable early Christmas music and holiday work events and blah blah blah. But there is one thing I am excited about now that November is finally upon us, something that only gave me time to read 4 books this month, plus some smut, of course. A small number, I know, but filled with more quality than quantity, I believe, so roll the intro. Everyone, and welcome back to the Neverland Book Club. Today's video might be a bit of a mishmash of a few different things. It was recently my birthday last week, and I wanted to quickly discuss this cute bookstore I found and a mini haul of the books I got on Halloween. Then, of course, I want to discuss my November wrap-up because that's why we're all here. And that is all part of the agenda, yes, but first, if my calculations are correct and everything goes according to plan, it should be November 6th, 2022, the day this video is posted, which means we are almost 1 week into something I only recently found out about called NaNoWriMo, which stands for National Novel Writing Month? But it's supposed to be in November? National Novel November? NaNoWriMo? You write a novel in November. I came across this hashtag while on a work trip at the end of last month. I was holed up in a hotel room at the Anaheim Convention Center for a reproductive medicine conference and found myself completely alone for the majority of 5 days. During these 5 days, I read quite a bit, yes, but I also wrote a lot. I wrote mostly outlines, character backstories, did research on specific locations and exports and foods of certain regions. I developed characters I cared about and quite a simple story that I didn't want too much pressure on. While in my solitude, I wanted to write about something of less magnitude than a fantasy or sci-fi or horror story, those of which I normally gravitate towards when writing my own projects. I started writing a contemporary romance novel. Now, I won't sit here and lie and say this novel will be published anytime in the foreseeable or even the unforeseeable future. This whole thing started off as one scene I would daydream about, something between 2 characters I thought would be interesting to explore. The only romance I had ever written was in Sweat and Honey, and even then it was a short story with some spooky elements and not at all a happy ending. I wanted to challenge myself against the grain of my writing comfort zone. And so I went all in, watching videos, handwriting notes, and scribbles of character details, even casting the characters to real-life actors to give me a better visual representation of them in my head. It was then, alone in my hotel suite at 3 in the morning, I found the writing community talking about Preptober and NaNoWriMo, and how relevant it was at the time, being the end of October. And here I was, already prepping a story to be written. I thought, this is a sign to actually take this project seriously and use this opportunity as practice and document the journey. And I'd be silly to just let it pass by with the tireless excuses of insecurity and imposter syndrome that I've used in the past. I don't care at this point if whatever comes out at the end of this journey is a publishable novel that does well, which would be nice, or just sits on my computer for years and years and no one ever reads it, as long as I finish it. That's the goal. This is all for practice anyway, and that's what I'm telling myself. So far, I have this many words written. I'll put it on the screen since the number will likely change from writing this video to the time it's posted. I can say so far I have been able to keep somewhat on track. NaNoWriMo, from what I gather, is a month for writers to just word vomit their novels and meet a word count goal of 50,000 words. This wasn't my initial intention with the story. I didn't really have a word count goal when I started. I just wanted to write until the story was finished. But having a set goal has helped me quite a bit with motivation and keeping myself on track. While in my hotel, I also found a software called Scrivener and immediately purchased it. I've been learning the program and it is a godsend for anyone who is trying to write literally anything. If you are a writer and haven't already heard of or used Scrivener, you're truly missing out. It's fantastic. Okay, so why am I telling you this? What does this have to do with anything? Well, this is a big part of why I didn't get to read so much. I was enveloped in my own story and started writing. Whenever I found myself reading, I felt guilty for not writing, so I would put my book down and pick up my laptop. This is also more of an unofficial announcement to say I want to start posting more writing videos as well as reading videos on this channel. And I would like to encourage everyone to join our community on the Heartbeat app to talk shop. If you're a writer and get stuck in a certain scene and just want to bounce ideas off of another person, I would be more than happy to be your bounce board. Yeah. More updates to come as the month progresses. I want to maybe post word count progression just to keep myself accountable. But yes, this is a new journey and I'd like to take you along with me. Alright, on to the next item of discussion, Halloween birthday. I woke up this past Halloween with not too much in mind other than eating a good meal, spending time with my family, and having a little date with my handsome husband. That date being him buying me all the books I want from a little bookshop I found in Culver City, Los Angeles called the Ripped Bodice. And yes, that sounds spicy for a reason. This is advertised as a romantic bookstore, and it was all sorts of adorable inside. Not only did I want to visit this little boutique bookshop on my birthday, but I wanted to support the business as well. So here are the books I purchased, all unread, and I am very excited to start. First, I saw this lovely hardcover of The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. And yes, I may very well be the last person on the internet to read this particular book, but after reading Alone with You in the Ether, I knew I had to get my hands on other Blake titles eventually. When I saw this displayed in the charming boutique, I knew today's the day. And then the simple yet mysterious array of words on the back cover had my curiosity through the roof. Secrets, betrayal, seduction, power. Welcome to the Alexandrian Society. Yes, give me all of the dark academia vibes. I want to drink it all up, the fall and the autumn feels, while I can. I don't know what it's about, of course, other than magic, secret societies, and academia, and romance, apparently. All things I love. And it's Olivia Blake's writing style, so I can't imagine not becoming obsessed with it like everyone else. Moving on, I saw this book sitting, oh so precariously, on the new releases table. It Starts With Us, Colleen Hoover's sequel to It Ends With Us. This is said to be a true sequel with some prequel elements as we delve into the possibility of Lily and Atlas as a couple and look back on their relationship together in their youth. This should expand on the happy ending we got with It Ends With Us and give a more real-world continuation of such a specific situation. I'm excited to read it, but it's not exactly on my immediate TBR list. It's more so a here when I need it type of purchase. Okay, so at this point I thought, I'm in a bookstore that caters to the more erotic side of fiction. I have to pick something of a more seductive nature. So I ventured to that side of the shop. After shamelessly browsing, I picked up a cheeky little book of poetry titled All We Know of Pleasure, Poetic Erotica by Women. This is a collection of poems by a number of women all about pleasure and sexuality told from a feminine perspective. It's divided into parts that explore the different stages of pleasure in a woman's life from initial discovery to rediscovery later in life. I was actually published in a poetry collection once upon a time ago. It was a heartbreak anthology and had a limited release, and I know I have a copy somewhere, I just know it's not here. Anyway, I can't wait to sit with all of my divine feminine energy and read through this little book of dirty poems. Alright, next I picked one of these blind dates with a book parcels, right on brand for the vibe of the shop. The description reads, hello, my name is. This matchmaker's job is put to the test when she agrees to find matches for these 7 old bachelors. I think I read a few of the other ones. I was reading the descriptions of the other ones and I knew exactly what they were. And I was like, oh, that's that book. Oh, that's that book. Oh, that's that book. Like, it's very clear like that those were the books. And this one, I didn't know which book it was. So I was like, I might as well. This is the only blind date. I've been on dates with all the other ones. I've dated a lot of books. All right, so I waited to unwrap it here on camera for you. So let's do it. The wrapping is so cute. I don't want to ruin it, but whatever.
How much did you pay for that one?
12. It's right here. It's $12.
How much it is?
Oh, and like retail? Okay, let's see. Sophie Goes Lonely Hearts Club by Roselle Lim? Rosalie? Roselle? I have never heard of this. But it has one of those covers. Is that the Space Needle? Is this gonna be set in Toronto? 17.
Oh.
It says 17 here though, so if this was released or there's like some sort of, cause some, you know, paperbacks they're around like $12 at some point, like later. I've never heard of this person, I've never heard of this book, so I don't know what it's about, but let's give a quick read. Matchmaker Sophie Go has returned to oh, it is set in Toronto. Toronto, her hometown, after spending 3 years in Shanghai. Her job is made quite difficult, however, when she is revealed as a fraud. She never actually graduated from matchmaking school. Matchmaking school? What? In a competitive market like Toronto, no one wants to take a chance on an inexperienced and unaccredited matchmaker, and soon Sophie becomes an outcast. In her dire search for clients, Sophie stumbles upon a secret club within her condo complex, the Old Ducks. Oh.
Right.
7 Chinese bachelors who never found love. Somehow she convinces them to hire her, but her matchmaking skills are put to the test as she learns the depths of loneliness, heartbreak, and love by attempting to make the hardest matches of her life. That sounds very interesting, and that it'll be like a look into different cultures, which I always like. Cool. Okay, that truly is a blind date with a book, because I've never heard of this one. Okay, that was fun. Now let's get down to the wrap-up. Again, as I said earlier, I didn't get to read nearly as much as I normally do. So here are the 4 books I read in October, not counting a couple of smutty titles, because I had to get through that conference somehow. And that'll be for a different video. First, Book of Night by Holly Black. A truly interesting story, both character and situation driven, filled with well-rounded individuals and a plot that takes you by the hand and runs. I enjoyed every minute of this book. It was fun in a dark way with its magic system and sass. It was also not what I had anticipated. I thought this book was going to be more heavy in its fantasy elements, but no, it felt more real-world-like, as though magic and shadow played their own part in the world we live in now. An intriguing continuation of our own reality into a shadow dimension where the darkness thinks for itself, and you could very well fall in love with the shadow someone leaves behind just as much as the person themselves. I recommend this book to those who enjoy a bit of magic realism and those beautiful misery porn endings I tend to gravitate towards so much. 4 stars. Perfect for a fall read. Next, we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. This was my second Coho book, and I liked it even better than the first, which was It Ends With Us. This one was more dark, more mysterious, more ambiguous as the story unravels. I devoured this book in one sitting. I could not put it down. It had my full attention on page 1, and if you read it, you know, like, as soon as you start reading, you're like, whoa, oh, Jesus. Right away, okay. Our main character is an author, so it is one of those stories, but it gets better, I promise. She is commissioned to finish a book series for a much more successful author, Verity, who is represented by the same publishing company. Verity is paralyzed, suffering from a mysterious accident. Her husband offers the MC, I don't remember her name because no one really says her name very often, and her name is not really her name. Her husband offers the MC to come live with them in their home to get a hold on the books and the direction they will take in order for her to accomplish this task. The story unfolds as our MC finds a manuscript in Verity's desk that's supposed to be an autobiography, and we get an inside look on her past, how she meets her husband, her true feelings of motherhood, and so much more as everything comes to light. Things start happening in the house. The husband's behavior is either suspicious or perfectly normal for one in his situation. No one knows. And of course I won't spoil the ending for you, but oh my God, the drama! So much fun. Pablo is currently reading this, and hopefully he'll be back in one of these videos soon to tell us what he thinks. But as for me, I recommend this book to my whodunit readers who like being suspended in a constant state of uncertainty. This book had its elements of shock and horror and disgust and lust and mystery and who the hell do you believe? Who do you trust? Those moments. It was fun. Fun ride. 4.5 stars. Not specific to this season, you could read it at any point, but it did have slight academic feels and of course the spooks. Next, we have Fairy Tale by Stephen King. A book I finished in last week's Read With Me by the Fireplace ASMR video. By the way, did you like that? You like that, don't you? I know it's very different from anything I've posted on this channel, but sometimes it's nice to just sit with someone and read silently by the fire. I want to do more of those. There's a poll going on if you want to vote on that. It helps out the channel. Alright, back to Fairy Tale. So, at first, this book does not feel like a fairy tale at all. Quite the contrary, it's a tiny bit boring in the beginning. As much as I love King, I can admit when his stuff tends to drag on. But because I know King so well, I kept holding on. I trust his process enough to stick it out and trudge through the exposition. And boy am I glad I did that, because King leaves these little breadcrumbs every now and then when the story seems to drag, as if he is aware of the time it's taking to get from one chapter to the next. He knows his readers will be loyal to his pages, and does not insult us by giving us a cheap thrills type of story. No. This story is slow, steady, methodical, and quite the fairy tale indeed. It's told from the first-person perspective of a man looking back on his 17-year-old self. We don't know how old the man is now, just that whatever we're about to read, he has lived through to tell his tale. The book starts off in the real world and hints to grandeur things. It leaves you at the end of each somewhat boring chapter with a promise of adventure right on the horizon. And then we get to the horizon. We get to the first step of the adventure, and it does not stop from there. All the time we invested in the beginning is not for naught. It was carefully curated character development. It was necessary backstory for the type of character Charlie is, and the decisions he is about to make stay true to his nature. I love King so much because he gives us stories like this, and he really doesn't have to. In his life right now, he could very easily just stop, live off his acquired success and just chill, but no, that's not his style. He still has stories like this waiting in the wings, and it gives me hope. It gives me something to look forward to, and God, I'm dramatic, but it's true. It's true. Okay, so yes, I love this book. And yes, I recommend this book to all King lovers and just readers in general because it is a well-organized story. And I believe anyone who reads or writes can appreciate the way it was written. However, I do think for just anyone, not a constant reader as we are called, this is a hard book to read specifically due to the lagging beginning. And so I give it 4.5 stars. If this is your very first King book, stick it out through the first handful of chapters. Just trust me, because God, is it worth it on the other side. And the dog, oh, Radar. Oh God, you saw me crying. Yeah, you put a dog in a story and I can't. And she's a German Shepherd. That's my breed. I am a German Shepherd. All right, now for the last book I read in October. And dare I say it? Oh, I dare say it! One of, if not the best book I have ever read. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. It did take me a long time to get through this book. Not for a lack of interest. No, not at all. But because of a true necessity in savoring it. This entire novel is a project you can just tell was written with the utmost love and adoration for storytelling and character. Erin Morgenstern, this was her debut novel. This was her debut novel. Like, what? What the f? Books like this make me want to both start writing and stop altogether because holy hell, I thought I loved The Starless Sea, which yes, my God, I loved that book so much, but this one changed my brain chemistry. This one raised the bar so high, I can't even see the floor anymore. I felt all of the same or similar feelings as to reading The Starless Sea, but dialed to 100. And you might think I'm over-exaggerating, and to be honest, maybe I am, it's in my blood. But either way, regardless, I feel like I've known these characters my entire life. Like I've been wearing a red scarf from the day I was born, chasing after a circus to the edge of the earth, just to be part of something magical. The love story that's effortlessly weaved into the narrative is so perfect, so innocent, so pure, just... I feel the same about this as I did with Starless Sea, with wanting both everyone and no one to read it. I want to keep it to myself, but I also want to share it with the world. And again, if you have anything bad to say, please keep it to yourself. I'm not responsible for the harsh words I might throw back at you. 100 stars. All of stars. I was completely enthralled. I didn't want it to end. I'm still sad that it ended at all, but it ended so well, and I can't be mad. It's just melancholic. I don't know if I'll have a full review on it yet because there's too much to say. There's too much to unpack in the way it had me feeling from the very first page. I remember reading the first line and then reading it again out loud for Pablo to hear and saying, oh no, this is going to be an obsession. And I was right. Celia Bowen is my spirit animal. I honestly don't normally self-insert myself into stories that often, but with Celia, I felt like Zachary Rollins finding a story of himself in a book. Is that narcissistic? Maybe. Was that on purpose? I don't know. Did Morgenstern intend for her readers to feel that way? I don't know. But I can tell you, it felt personal. This was the perfect book to read in the beginning of fall. Even here in California where autumn is just a concept. I can't. It's best book ever written. Best story ever told. Game over. Just everyone pencils down. It's done. All right. That's all my dramatic self has for you today, dear viewers. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you're not. I haven't yet decided if I'll be posting writing updates on Patreon yet, because I don't really want it to be a paid thing, but I definitely will be posting word count updates and quick thoughts over on Heartbeat. So again, if you haven't joined yet, please follow the link down below to download the app and be part of our writing/reading community. Today's shout out goes to Ryan. My dear Ryan, you said it. Stories you can come back to, and they still feel new. They still make you feel that rush of excitement and adventure and joy no matter how long it's been since you last visited whatever world the story is set in. Books, true magic, or drugs, same thing. Alright, I'm off to go word dump on Scrivener and meet my goal for the day. This is fun and stressful, but mostly fun. Stay lost, keep reading and writing. Happy NaNoWriMo! Goodbye.